Hello. For this speech, I would like to discuss the topic of plastic and the issues surrounding it. Plastic is something that we use almost on an everyday basis. Most people do. I do. I know that for sure. But it's used in so much of what we interact with every day in terms of either food or other industries. And some examples of that would be water bottles, which I have that right here. Just a plastic water bottle. Drink a lot of these. Food containers, for keeping food that you want in the fridge, or art supplies, stuff like that. But a lot of them are either made entirely out of plastic or just use a little bit of plastic, which both are not great, but at least a little bit of plastic only has a little bit in it. Plastic itself isn't inherently bad, but there are ways that it's used that can end up hurting either yourself or the environment. Basically, when it comes into contact with humans, that's when things start going awry. An example of that is the way people dispose of plastic. You're supposed to recycle plastic, and hopefully it will be used for something else in the future and not clutter everything up. Either it's laziness or just a simple lack of caring. Certain people will just forego this entirely and throw their bottles either out on the street, not recycle them correctly, or throw them in any other just random place that is not supposed to have them. And that can lead to issues with the environment, them ending up in the ocean, which is never good. But it all, it's a lack of caring mostly is what I've noticed. But that's one of the main issues where plastic is involved, and it really is just people not caring. Another example of a way that plastic hurts people is microplastics. I'm sure people watching this video have heard of microplastics before. It's been everywhere, online. I'm sure it's been on the news as well. But basically little bits of plastic, tiny little bits of plastic, hence micro, that can either get into your body or other things, either in the environment as well, and it can cause serious health issues if left unattended and left to build up. When microplastics build up, they can lead to things, at least as far as research goes now, like cancer and tons of other health issues, which needs to be taken seriously. Ways that microplastics can affect you are through, once again, water bottles, which I drink on a daily basis, so I'm sure I have tons and tons of microplastics swimming around inside of me, which is not a pleasant thing to think about. Other food items, like containers again, but just even in the air. I've heard from sources online, other things, it's not a pleasant thing to go through. And right now, there is no current way to get rid of microplastics out of your body, at least as far as research is concerned right now. So, yeah. With that being said, I hope that in the future, something is developed which helps get rid of microplastics, either stop them from happening or getting into your body in general, or at least something that you can take or put in your body that helps get them out if they're already in there. because as time goes on, that'll be more and more of an issue, I'm sure. Um, when I think about solutions to this issue, not a lot comes to mind because right now we just a lot of even if I were okay, solutions basically would boil down to, for me at least, just stopping using plastic, because plastic is going to keep being used whether we like it or not. Because even if you quit using plastic and you're very conscientious about that, it doesn't mean everybody else will stop using plastic suddenly and just be like, oh, okay, this is much better. Plastic is really easy to use. It costs less to manufacture, and most people just don't care, which, to each their own. But so in terms of solutions, there's not a lot right now for the everyday person that can come to mind. So I would say just see what you use in your daily life that has plastic and see if you can find alternatives to it, such as, there's the whole thing with paper straws, and those I'm sure have some certain issues with them as well, but just going for non-plastic containers and stuff like that. For the foreseeable future, plastic isn't going anywhere, like I said. So I just think that as time goes on, hopefully we'll develop more and more ways to either deal with plastic in the environment or in your body, and develop ways for you to more and more ways for you to have non-plastic options to use, because I feel like if we had non-plastic options that were more affordable and more abundant for everyday people, that it would go a long way to helping the overall use of plastic and the overall repercussions that plastic has on the environment and our bodies. So, thank you.